right now especially, it's when the story wanted to be told, you know. It has particular resonance right now, and for reasons that are wonderful and terrible, you know. I mean, we're in a time of real crisis, I think, right now, and I think examining the past, you know, and kind of how we got here, that's important. But also I think it's very important to us to see our active heroes, you know, those who formed the resistance, those who, you know, we're willing to die for a cause. We're willing to die for freedom. This is a very, it's a very human instinct, but it's also a very American instinct. And really to see kind of what one person is able to do. We need to remind ourselves, sometimes the problems that we face can seem so insurmountable. It's important to remind ourselves what one person was able to accomplish, you know, just with courage and force of will.
I think the idea of being able to assume the role of someone who has such agency and fire and determination within them was electric to me, and I knew that this story hadn't been told on the big screen yet, and I don't know, I felt like a sense of urgency and duty to make sure that it was told and that we didn't have to wait anymore. I knew that Deborah Martin Chase had waited for a really long time. Gregory Allen Martin had written this. Gregory Allen had written this 20 years ago, and I didn't want him to wait any longer. And as soon as we realized that Kasi was going to be on board and directing, I just knew that it was necessary, you know, to have a story where a black woman is in the center of an adventure film that has heart and is truthful is really special and necessary.
I have to say, my heart flutters when I hear
Cynthia Erivo, Kasi Lemmons, Harriet Tubman, William Still. You know, it seemed like there was going to be a happening in Richmond, Virginia, and I was getting an invitation, and so I answered the call. Right now it's music. I have this new album coming out on November the 8th, all original music, and I've been inspired by all the work I've been a part of. I was certainly inspired by Hamilton, certainly inspired by my work on this movie and the other movies I've gotten to do. But the music is, especially this original stuff, it's the first time people are gonna really hear my voice, my thoughts, my words, what I'm made of. So right now, that, you know, that's the thing it's most personal to me, and so it's the thing that I guess art creatively means the most to me right now. I think they did a really wonderful, Kasi and Cynthia did a really wonderful job of reminding us of how it got started in the first place. And in that way, she becomes really human and relatable. You know, she went back the first time for her husband, for her family. Other people tagged along because why wouldn't you? But sort of the impetus of that, you know, the really personal way that her private revolution began, I think really makes her relatable and really forces you to ask the question, what are you capable of? What would you do? Who would make you do it?
When I was a little girl and I would go into the library, they had, and this was in elementary school, there were history books that they had where they would highlight iconic people throughout history. And the only two women that they had in these small little books, they were age appropriate. You know, this was probably second or third grade. The only two women they had were Mary Curie and Harriet Tubman. So those were the ones that I continued to check out over and over. So for me, to get to be a part of this story and I checked those out because I was like, oh, here's the two women. These are the only two that are like me. You know, I'm never going to be George Washington, but let me check this out, you know, with these two women. So for me, this story was always a part of history that I was in my sort of legend lore, you know, in terms of when I grew up. I would call it a blossoming that is happening for sure in my career. I love storytelling, I love the performing arts, and I am working very hard to continue to develop my craft as an actor as well. It's something that I've always loved. My music career had thankfully blessed success. So that took up a lot of time, but now I'm in a place where I can make choices and allow myself to grow and do different things. And so I'm excited to be able to, to make TV and film a big part of that.